Okay, good morning, everybody. It's been a long time, but we're finally returning to Dimir Food and Modern. Spent some time with the deck last night. And I really do like this deck's main deck. I don't think that there's really a ton of wiggle room. I know that versions with Goblin Engineer were popping up a little bit lately, but I have the current philosophy that Goblin Engineer is really only a card you want to play if you get value from your engineer when it dies. If you're going to be tutoring up a combo piece that's good in the graveyard, like a grinding station or a Sword of the Meek. I think that even with Unearth in this deck, engineer is not a card I think you want access to, and the third color does make your in the main deck makes your mana worse. I think that Prismatic Ending is still a card I want to splash for, since not only is Hammer Time a tough matchup without the splash. Prismatic Ending hits all of the relevant cards: Pithing Needle, Sanctifier, and Vac. Any graveyard hate that it can have, while also Prismatic Ending just being good against the deck in general. I think the card is phenomenal against them. The big changes are that I'm playing a lot of copies of Flusterstorm now, as opposed to Thoughtseize in the past, where there's a lot less big mana, and there's a lot more cascade and combo and creativity in general. I'm also playing Unmoored Ego as another hedge against these combo matchups. You can't play Necromancia, keep Giganta. You can't play Unmoored Ego. Ego is probably a little bit better, anyways. It's basically the same card. I've also decided to cut the Bone Shards for Murderous Cuts, where the main thing Bone Shards was doing in the deck in the past was answering Murktide Regent. I think that Murderous Cut does that better, and it's also Murderous Cut being an instant speed removal spell is better against Hammer Time than Bone Shards is. I did like to bring in like one or two Bone Shards against Omnath decks in the past, but with the Yorion ban, I think that is like less necessary, so I'm happy enough to cut them. Ooh, Ledger Shredder, Ovalchase Daredevil. Obviously, like, very nice combination, but this is a hand that is kind of flooded. I think I'm going to try it, though. Bone Shards versus Karn 4. So the thing about Karn, the Great Creator, is that card is not very popular at the moment. Titan decks aren't playing it. It's really just Tron decks. Tron is your worst matchup by so much it's crazy. Tron is such an abysmal matchup. I would rather try to, like... Necromancia, sorry, not Necromancia. Unmoored Ego. But I don't know. If you played 4 Bone Shards, Karn the Great Creator would still be incredible against you. It's like not that good of an answer because they tutor up like a really relevant piece of interaction against you. You're kidding! You can't script this. You literally can't script this. Tron is such a bad matchup. It's unbelievably bad. You just have to dodge it immediately. Round 1, match 1. Urza's Mine, Expedition Map. I just... What did I ever do to anybody, huh? What did I ever do to anybody? Well, bro, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate you. This is karma for the Pioneer video. Yeah, I guess max psychic damage. Tron is your worst matchup by a lot. This is like really like, when you play linear decks like this, there are some matchups like it just feels like you're conceding. Obviously, we, can send our creature sideways. Yeah, but it's tough. Great. 5 great months of reaction stuff. Hell yeah. It's about 10 months. Thank you. Yeah, I wonder if there's another Asmo enabler. Why is Tron so hard? Maybe you'll find out, but it's like a combination of Karn the Great Creator and Oblivion Stone and your clock not being fast enough to race them and them going way over the top of you. And Blast Zone and just like their entire freaking deck is so good against you. Oh, baby, it's Bluetron! Let's go! It's Bluetron! We're fine now. Oh, man. Bluetron players, what is going on with y'all? How do Bluetron players feel about as soon as your opponents know what they're playing against, they are just so happy. How do you feel about the fact that as soon as your opponents are like, wait, we're up against Bluetron? It's just the best day of their life. I guess I should have discarded the Daredevil first in case I drew a second one. Yeah, I guess it could be Redtron, huh? We're probably still like I still don't think we're favored. I've celebrated maybe a little too much here, but things are a lot better than they were a second ago, I'll tell you that. Trickery Waiting Room. Yeah, we'll be playing some Trickery later today. Spent a lot of time playing it last night, actually. Thirst for knowledge, baby. Was it 3-2 or 4-1 yesterday for the live prediction? We were playing. Yeah, it was a 4-1 with the binding version with the Kruger deck. Was Pioneer Trickery or Modern? Well, Tybalt's Trickery is not legal in Modern, so it was definitely Pioneer. So yeah, so yesterday we were talking about Tybalt's Trickery on Pioneer. It took us a long time to find an Emergent Ultimatum pile that like deals 20 damage or wins the game on the spot. We were able to. Why does chat summon? What is wrong with you that you would just summon Karn the Great Creator to match one game one? Why would you go? Spike, I'm a little bit worried about Karn the Great Creator. As soon as I log in, I'm worried about it too. The card is insanely good against me. I'm worried about it too. But why? Why would you feel the need to summon it to my opponent's hand? They're getting engineered explosives here. If they play it on 0, they can just kill Asmo, my food token. 1 kills my artifacts. I don't know if they can play it on 2. Swaz, 13 months. Servi with the 16. Thank you, y'all. They didn't play the explosives. Spike, I'm a little bit concerned about our ability. Our ability to beat Karn the Great Creator. Me too, chat. Me too. Repeal the Asmo. So, how does my opponent get to answer both Ledger Shredders? Dismember, but if they dismember the other Shredder, I can kill the Karn with. So, like, they have to have 2 dismembers here. Oh, they're just like literally repealing. I guess they're trying to high roll. Oh, sorry. I was definitely supposed to play my Manufactor first, though. Sorry, a little too excited there. Turn to Power 2 months. Subscriptions for Trickery Nonsense. Yeah, I'll have some good time later. Serve with the 16. Thank you. This is a Texas Rangers hoodie. Me and Esther used to go to their games a bunch back pre-COVID. And then when I did my video with the professor recently, I was supposed to wear something blue and red because my guild was Is It, and I ended up buying this because it was the only thing I could find locally that was like the right shade of blue and red, but I ended up wearing something else in the video anyways. Did I break it? So like I think that Trickery is actually a good deck. It is like just like Neoform though, where rude. It's a lot like Neoform. It's a lot like Neoform in the sense that you just like do the thing. Wait, is this just they just have the loop? Upkeep, blue land 1. They're a little short. Asmo can kill herself, yeah, but I don't have enough. Oh, I do have enough foods. Yeah, I guess I do just need to kill my own Asmo right now, so that would wipe my whole board. We're pretty screwed though, probably. Yeah, but the Trickery actually seemed pretty good. So like the way I've been thinking about Tybalt's Trickery, and I can show you the version that I played a lot of different versions. this is the one I think is the best. I tried the version we were talking about with Shadowboard Apostle, just more consistently going off turn 3. The problem with that is, like, on the draw, you just can't beat any counterspell decks, and, like, going off turn 2 is way more powerful anyways. But just, like, you just play a million hits. This deck can, like, mulligan. This deck can mulligan to, like, 3 pretty comfortably. 2... I won on turn 2. I mulligan 2s a couple times last night, but can mulligan to 3 pretty comfortably with all of the temples to try to scry into land number 2. Just try to mulligan to Trickery, Stonecoil Serpent, and then you are very unlikely to brick. So it's like, the way I'm thinking of this deck is like playing Texas Hold'em with pocket aces. Wait, they drew Asmo for turn? Brutal. Or did they draw Unearth? How did this come back into play? Discards Emry. Okay. Sorry. So the way I'm viewing it is like, you're playing Texas Hold'em with pocket aces. You just do your thing every single time. You win. You win a lot more than you lose. Was my experience with Trickeries yesterday. But like, you're going to like brick. You're gonna brick like 13% of the time or something like that. It's like you have like basically 4 bricks in the deck. And then you have Pier is like kind of half of a brick, but you usually get Pier into another combo. So it's like 21 hits, 4 bricks, or 22 hits, 4 bricks. This is a very good win rate. And so you brick when you can't mulligan for your combo. You brick when you hit one of these 4 cards on the right, and you almost always win. Otherwise, was my experience with Trickery. I played probably like 20 matches yesterday. I don't remember my record, but I played like 20 matches yesterday, and I found like, you just win. You just win if you don't brick. The format is like relatively devoid of counter magic. I did play against some decks with counter spells, and I lost usually. But the Nephelia Academies gave you like a lot of resilience to discard effects, and and it really just feels like you're just playing pocket aces in Texas Hold'em. You're gonna go, you just go all in pre-flop with pocket aces in Texas Hold'em, and you just do your thing, and you win a lot. Maybe not as much as like pocket aces would, but like a big amount of the time. Doesn't Trickery just Trickery again? No, because the Trickery goes off the stack. So these are 4 bricks, 22 hits, very good rate. Obviously, Kozilek's Great Distortion is kind of like, I think it's better than Ugin. And then a lot of time post-board, you're going to cut the Kozileks for either Stormtide Leviathan against creature decks, Void Winnower against control and combo, or although you could maybe even like, I think against control, or like you could potentially like play Winnowers too. I think you can go up on like your number of hits. Okay, we have to like win this game next turn, which is going to be unlikely, but we'll go for it. Isn't Serpent always also brick? The way Trickery works, you can't reveal the card that you countered. So whatever you target with Trickery, that is never going to be something you reveal. Why am I playing Singularity if it's a brick? Because it turns Emergent Ultimatum into a win on the spot card. Emergent Ultimatum. So like with Emergent, I think it's good to play Ultimatum because it just gives you more I win hits. So like, Omniscience is a I win hit if you draw one of these in your hand usually. Emrakul Ulamog are basically always I win buttons. Tarrasque is usually an I win on turn 2. And then it turns Ultimatum into a give you a higher density, a higher ratio of hits off Trickery, if that makes sense to play it this way. Okay, that is the draw we needed, right? We just go Manufactor, discard, Time Sieve, turns, win. I guess they could have counter magic. No more Torgar. Yeah. So I found that you don't need Torgar. You don't need Torgar because if you draw one of these 3 pieces, when you cast your Ultimatum, you just get an Omniscience, and then if you've drawn one of these, you just cast the drawn piece. So it doesn't work if you've drawn 2 pieces. Okay. So now I just have to. Oh well, I can go Treasure Token, cast Manufactor, discard. Just use the 2 treasures. Or 3 treasures, right? Been a while since I played the deck. Okay, we win. Cool. I can't believe we just got Mindslavered and untap infinite turns. I'm sure. I wonder if anybody in the chat has just like a hilarious joke to make about infinite turns here. Obviously, the Shadowborn list was too slow. Yeah, it was slow, and then so one issue I found with the Shadowborn list is with the Shadowborn list, you can't really mulligan below 4. You can't really mulligan below 4, or it's very hard to mulligan below 4. Sometimes you can mull to 3, but it's like you need 3 lands to go off instead of 2. So like this deck like super comfortably mulligans to 3. Where like if your 3-card hand is Trickery, Stonecoil, Scryland, you're just very likely to combo on turn 2. And just like that full extra mulligan I found to be like really valuable. Okay, so we are on the draw against Mono Blue Tron. I'm gonna bring in these Unmoored Egos. I'm going to bring in the Needle. I'm going to cut the Nihil Spellbomb. I'm going to cut the Shadowspear. I'm going to cut the Aether Spellbomb. Could definitely see wanting like a couple Prismatic Endings on the draw to answer turn 1 map. Can also answer their mana rocks. Can answer Karn targets. Let's try this. Side, 24 months. Did I do the deck Dota correctly? I may have missed it. You did, yeah, thank you. Sorry, missed it. Or, hold on. I see one from Turtle Power, or one from Max. Oh, that is you, Max. Sorry, I misread the names. Okay. I'll get the deck done. Good card deck. Oh, boy. Wow, this actually lets you play all the companions. Oh no, you can't play that. You can't play this. This is not a legal deck. These are banned. You're trying to play banned cards. Love the Torments. I love the one of Kolaghan's Command. The 3 of Binding. Man, yeah, all the memes over the years, huh? Oh, Tallow-Wisp is an old old cut, deep cut. Okay, let's keep this. Pets in the sideboard. Love it. Very funny. And I will, if you find me in Vegas, I'm happy to sign anything. I always say I'm going to bring a Sharpie and I forget like most of the time, but I'll try this time. Isn't Crystal Grotto strictly better than Void in my trickery list? Okay. What's Crystal Grotto? Okay, I didn't know this card existed. It is strictly better. I'll put it in. You might want to play more numbers though. I think like so you have 8 colorless lands right now. So like one thing is like I get yeah, this is better if you draw 3 colorless lands. Okay. Upgrade in the deck. I had no idea that card existed. Man, no Prismatic Ending. It was good to play the Saga turn 1. What cards do people most often ask me to sign? I signed a lot of like Jade Avengers. I signed a lot of hold on. I think I'm gonna go for Asmo this turn to play around Condescend. I signed a lot of Jade Avenger, like a lot of, you know, just like cards that I built around too. You know, I signed a lot of cards, I guess. Trying to think, like, you know, Jade Avenger is definitely the most common. I signed like, you know, Typhoons, Cookbooks, Asmos, just all the cards I brew around, really. Yeah, I've signed Creeping Chill. I've signed a couple playsets of Creeping Chill. Put on Stevens. Yeah, I don't know. They showed us Opponent showed us the blue-red talisman earlier. Maybe for just engineered explosives. You know, don't try to look into the mind of the Mono Blue Tron player, chat. It's a dark place. A bad place. Alright, let's just make a token, I think. Not play into the counter magic. Although they're gonna just get to sack their map if we do that, but ever sign a spike? I've signed like, yeah, spike feeders. It's been 9 months, thank you. It's for Fire Ice? Alright, Trellon's saying it, then it has to be true, huh? Really want to draw an Ovalchase Daredevil. Ooh, I think we're gonna lose that Time Sieve though. What was the sideboard for Trickery? I was playing like 4 Blast Zone, 4 Stormtide Leviathan, 4 Void Winnower, 3 Radiant Fountain. Is the Golgari Asmo deck any good anymore? I don't know that that deck was ever good. Maybe it was at one point, but if it was not to my knowledge. It was like, I don't know, it had some results, but had a lot of issues. Okay, what's the name of this card? I got like 4 Crystal Grottos. Card I am finding out about right now. Okay. Yeah, in the sideboard I was just playing, in the video I recorded there, I didn't really have a sideboard. But that video, the build was different. That one was just like turbo, trying to win on turn 2 for content. For those of you who missed it, I recorded a video with the Trickery deck last night, just like for fun. Whoa, that is a crazy, insano draw. The problem is my opponent is gonna have... They're gonna have a counterspell a lot of the time here. Well, I guess I shouldn't have made a token yet. But I'm just gonna go get Springleaf Drum. I need the colored mana pretty bad. Cast Asmo, which I think you know dodges a lot of their counter magic. Thankfully, I get another cookbook. I'm going to, I guess, cast cookbook using floating colorless mana. Grow the construct by 2. Attack for 9, so the construct is lethal next turn. Kill the Thoughtland Seer post combat. I'm doing this in this order so that the construct doesn't shrink. Hoping to draw a land here. They just block. If they block, I think that's fine. Because then I have like outs to Time Sieve this turn. Would a core tapper be good this list? I don't think so. Maybe tell me why you think it would be. I'm a little confused at the suggestion. E-Tron playing Steam. It's their mono blue Tron. What if they mind slaver me now? We'll kill our own Asmo probably. Although that maybe is not. Yeah, I mean we should. Although they just have another Asmo. Maybe not then. Okay, they do get Blast Zone, which kills, 4 of my permanents, which is a lot. Damn it. I mean, I know we beat it last time. Game 3. I would love to emerge unscathed from this matchup. I'm already a little scathed. Right, we're gonna play for game 3. Let's go. Sanderson with the 10-pack. Let's freaking go. I've got to get to the sub from Sanderson. Make sure to thank him. If you have anything you want to say, let me know. It's awesome. Yeah, feeling kind of scathed at the moment. Oh, I thought I ordered these grottos. Hold on. I like sitting in a trade. Oh. I have to mulligan this 7. A pretty bad hand. I would definitely keep this if I had black mana. If you got a 5. Feeling a little scathed right now. God.com 25 months, thank you. Mir with the Twitch Prime, thank you as well. Fuck. Miss one food, or am I stupid? I don't see the thing. Oh, yeah, I did miss the food. Sorry. Although it actually like plays around this surgical extraction randomly. But yeah, I did miss the food there. Okay, do I want to needle anything right now? I think I'm just gonna play the cookbook. Do you ever play Penny Dreadful? I have never played Penny Dreadful, no. If I'm down a Delta, how much of a downgrade is it to play? -1 strand and -1 flats. +1 strand or flats. That's fine, that's fine. No, it doesn't matter much. Delta's better because it gets you both of your basics through Blood Moon, but it is a small nerf. I think that putting Gigantha in my hand so that I have access to an extra food here is kind of nice. Although maybe it's better to needle Karn the Great Creator while I can resolve this for sure. Let's do that. Yeah, I am in the main event of Vegas. I did get the tickets transferred. They were apparently transferred to me the whole time. I just like didn't see the email, but I am gonna get to play the main event of Vegas, or one of the main events. I'm very excited. I don't know what I'm gonna play. I think the green-red breach deck, but I'm gonna be deciding. Am I going to Summit? No, I'm doing too much stuff to go to Summit and Vegas. Honestly, like I kind of wish I was going to Summit instead of Vegas at this point, but ship has sailed. Okay, so put my opponent to 12 here, presumably. And this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 power creature. If I discard this Watery Grave to the cookbook and the card, I draw for turn to cookbook, which is 12 damage. So let's go for 12 damage against the opponent at 12 life. Then be getting spoilers in the set. No, I haven't got spoilers since Double Masters. I've only ever had 2 spoiler cards. So I'm going to any casinos in Vegas. Yeah, I'll do some gambling. I watch a lot of poker content, a lot of poker vlogs. So like, I don't know. I've said this on stream a lot. Like poker is like I think a very good game to watch, especially a good game to watch like highlights of. Where when you're playing poker, it's a lot of like boring folding, and you're sitting next to a bunch of sweaty old dudes who just like aren't interested in having any fun at all, and you know they're it's a lot more fun to I guess they like never have Dismember, right? They've dismembered the Asma already. I think it's just a lot more fun to watch than to play, and I'm gonna play some, but I prefer to not play, I guess. Sounds like Magic, yeah. I'm sure some people in the chat like to watch Magic. Let's try a second needle. I don't know. Get a Bauble. I need to get Thomas real quick. Right back. Oh, sorry, what's up?
One of my friends went. Oh.
What's up?
One of my friends went to a Posty concert last night, and she was like really up front row, and he wore her hat, her cowboy hat, and he signed her Crocs.
Why didn't you go?
I don't know. I was not aware of any concerts.
Sounds like a fake fan.
Oh, shut up. There's a fortune cookie on the floor. It's mine now.
It was for Fire Ice the whole time, huh? Okay, that's fine. I would have definitely played Saga already, right? Maybe not. If I could choose for them to have surgical extractions here, I would definitely choose that. Spike don't mix your deck tech. Okay, yes. If you post can you post the link in chat again? Okay, thank you, Marv. Yeah, I think the trickery deck would be awesome for making enemies at F&M. Okay, I'm going to draw that, hold this to discard to cookbook, and pass. Left in the graveyard, yeah. Although, I mean, it doesn't matter that's in the graveyard, really. Cocoa Goblins, okay. So, I think that these versions are worse than more traditional combo goblins, where combo goblins are very grindy. They're faster because they could win on turn 3 against non-interactive decks. This version is very interesting, though. Don't want to say that it's not. I feel like I don't like the 4 Maguses of the main deck so much. I think I would be interested in playing those in the sideboard, not the main. You're just focusing on like the Goblin synergies game 1. And if the Goblin synergies like aren't good enough to win game 1s, then you have a problem. I could be wrong about this. Maybe Magus is just like super necessary, but that's kind of my first impression, I guess. I wouldn't play Goblin King. There's no way it's Goblin King, right? I feel like the Hobgoblin guy or... So I gotta make some tokens here. The Hobgoblin or War Master, War Chief to give everything haste. All of those have to be better than freaking Goblin King. Goblin King's got to be the worst one, right? I know I understand the synergy between this and Magus, but like people brought this up a lot with like the Elves deck when I was playing. People wanted to play the Pindlehaven or not Pindlehaven. Yavimaya plus the Elvish Champion and give all your elves Forest Walk. This was a synergy people really wanted to play. And Modern is just not about tribal decks attacking and blocking into each other. It's just like not the format at all. This is, you know, this is just not a dynamic that is like very relevant in Modern. Like you know, the combat step almost like doesn't exist or totally forgot Blast Zone came in on 1. It's funny. Okay, we despite complaining and my Twitch chatter sabotaging me and summoning turn 1 Urza's Mine, we won anyways. This hand is interesting. I think I'm gonna go to 6. This hand is way better. This deck does generally mulligan pretty well. I think this is a pretty easy put back turn 1 Bauble and keep, and I think we get basic swamp on turn 1. And then when you cut the Maguses, I guess maybe I'm kind of coming around on the Maguses a little because I really don't think you want. I do think you want this number of 2 drops, 3 drops. I don't really think you want to play Legion War Boss. So like, maybe I'm coming around on the Maguses. Maybe the sideboard is fine. I'd probably play. I don't know if I like these explosives very much. I don't usually like explosives in decks like this, but I guess I'm kind of coming around. It's close. I think you know, if do some playtesting, maybe playtest with and without it, and form an opinion. All right, so I have another deck tech to do. Can't remember you ever playing creativity deck any reason. This is the kind of question I get a lot. Like, hey, Spike, this is a deck that I play, and I never see you playing it. Why not? But like, I don't just on this channel. The goal on this channel is not to just, you know, display the meta decks in Modern and like go, okay, today we're gonna play this tier 1 deck creativity. Tomorrow we're gonna play Hammer Time. We have Hammer Time Tuesdays, Creativity Mondays, Rhinos Fridays, Living In Sundays, you know, and just, you know, play the tier 1 decks on stream. I find that to be boring, like, and kind of uninteresting content. not disparaging people who do that, obviously, but I just for me, it's not the content I'm interested in making. I'm interested in trying to like always on stream be innovating and trying new things, always being, you know, trying to give people a leg up and trying to let them see the format in a different, unique, interesting way and get, you know, lost in the sauce and have a good time. And that keeps me really interested, and I think it keeps y'all interested too. And creativity is a deck that you can innovate on, you can spend a lot of time with, but it's just not, you know, just not one that I've really dipped my toes into, because I feel like the lists that exist are really good, and like players like, you know, Nassif and Dingo have done like a really good job working on those decks already, you know. And if I ever have an idea for improving on creativity, I'll play it, but I'm not here going to be just playing stock lists on stream. Stream on Sundays. I mean, I have streamed on Sundays, so like the schedule is supposed to be every weekday and then like a tournament on the weekends, but like lately my weekend tournaments have been in person. This is fun. Got both basics, baby. Played around it. Gonna be taking some turns soon. All right, so let's go cast Time Sieve this turn, and then have the ability to pay for Spell Pierce if they have it, which it seems they don't. And then I want to leave back this. Well, what can they even hit off Ragavan? Oh, I don't want to give them more blue, man. I think I'm down to just chill. Just down to just chill. Yeah, Dingo's really good. I like Dingo a lot. One at Emry, then Time Sieve. Oh, I guess so. That is better. For whatever reason, I was thinking that I needed to do this way to play on Spell Pierce, but that is better because I just tap it to the drum. But yeah, that was the line. Right, Kreplin, another deck. Okay. I feel like I need to figure out a way to. Yeah, I need to figure out a way to like stagger the deck some more, but with the donos they can really stack up. I don't know. Maybe just charge more. If you post a link in chat, Kreplin, we'll get to it. Let me play a little bit of this match though. Get a little bit more of a space. Okay, so let's make a token. Attack with the construct because we're going to take an extra turn here. Yeah, Spell Pierce does feel likely. Been chased to this high since MH2 dropped, hell yeah. There's one before you, Kreplin, but we'll get to it. Guess I'm also casting Daredevil. No, I need to keep the Daredevil in the hand to keep discarding. I guess I'm putting Gigant in my hand. Is Blue Moon good again? I'm getting Roar to Burning Breach every week. Blue Moon is a good deck, but not like you're thinking of it. It's Murktide with Blood Moon. That is a good deck. The hero control deck that all the Blue Moon players want to play is not good. It's not good again, and perhaps was never good. Can we go for Panda? Thank you, Panda. Appreciate you. We love our mods, huh? Okay. Another Time Sieve. So I'm just gonna cast the Gigantha. Sure. Alright, Teferi, Wandering Emperor. Wandering Emperor is a card I don't like a ton. I think I've found it to be like, I think generally very overrated. It is like a fine card though. Like I'm not trying to like say it's just unplayable or anything, but I've recently become a lot lower on it. So I would play no more than one copy. Likely not even the first copy. I have recently this is one of many decks I've kind of like put together off stream, and I think maybe one day we'll stream with it, but I just haven't yet. But I have put together some new blue-white Stoneblade lists. Here we go. Okay. Well, Okay, so I had a list with Ledger Shredder. And then I was like, okay, what if we play Aether Channeler? And then there's supposed to be 4 Ephemerates in this list. And then I'm like, this doesn't look that good. And then I have to build the mana different for binding, so I stopped working on it. But I had like a list with Shredder that I overwrit. This, however, seems like very fine, very stock. There was a time where I felt like Blue-White Stoneblade was like pretty underrated, and I was winning a lot with it. I think this was during one of the 2 trophy races. Since then, I found that if I wanted to play a Stoneblade deck in Modern, the deck I wanted to play was one of these variants of Fervent Champion and Blood Moon. I found that these to be like much better Stoneforge Mystic mid-range decks. And they don't want to cast the Emry, so they must have another counterspell. We're at 13. So I guess I'm going to go cast Time Sieve, make a food, attack for 7, and then just take a turn and try to kill them next turn, which loses to another Bolt. What does it lose to? But, you know, they kind of get me, I guess. Maybe I just don't take the turn here. Maybe I just take a hit. Yeah, let's just take a hit. Yeah, so I feel like I'd be down to like 4 Teferi, 1 Emperor max, probably no Emperor. Oh, I'm actually really into like the first copy of Force of Negation and blue decks at the moment. I would probably be playing the first Force of Negation in the main. Maybe even like 2 Force, 1 Pierce. No, 2 Pierce, 1 Force probably. But like with creativity being popular, like I'm pretty happy to have the first Force a lot of the time. Is Seals do good in 2022? It's actually a lot better with Leyline Binding in the meta. I guess I didn't really touch on this, but like that's why I'd be like kind of into it. Okay. I don't see a sideboard. I don't know if this is one of those sites that you have to like, you know, create an account and log into. Give them your personal data. Get the sideboard. 1 Force and Murktide. You could play a Force and Murktide. I think that, like, especially like when you're not playing Charm because you're playing Blood Moon, you have like more spots, and it's like, you know, one that you're gonna side out a lot, but like people just like never get to play around in game 1. Schooling, it is true Murktide has a lower curve than Stoneblade, so like the Force is like a little worse. I've never messed around with Strict Proctor and just got Lotus Field. I did work on the Pioneer list. You can maybe talk about that later, but I don't know. It's just like Blood's like Strict Proctor doesn't have as much splash damage as Bloodsod does. It doesn't cantrip in multiple copies. It's much more fragile. It's bad with Solitude Fury. Obviously, if you're playing Pioneer, that's not the case. It could be way better than I think. It could definitely be way better than I think. And if Strict Proctor, like, I don't think that ability. The stopping ETB triggers, I don't really feel like that's a super relevant ability in Modern, or Pioneer rather. But if I'm wrong and it is, then I'm like very on board, I guess. All right, Asmo Cookbook are great draws here. Shredder, okay. So it's attack, get a block. Ashiok's Eraser seems like a good Karuga Lotus Field card. In Modern, I don't know. That card's like 4 mana. I know it's a Karuga deck, but you know what I mean. Okay, so this has 2 damage on it. If I discard Daredevil to Cookbook. Okay, well, okay, that just makes everything a lot easier. Oh no! I was supposed to keep the drum over the Cookbook so that I could go Shredder Daredevil here. Still just gonna go Daredevil. Which Lotus Field deck do you think would be best tournament? I mean, I 4-1'd my only league with the Binding Karuga list. I felt okay. Why not make a food and sacrifice that instead of the drum? I was thinking that I wanted to sacrifice the cookbook and then play both of these at the same turn, but then I messed up. But then I never got punished ever. Really don't think they have another burn spell. I could be wrong, obviously. They would have cast a response. But they have the Nihil Spellbomb, right? So I'm not. No way! Okay, well they just messed up then. I really didn't think they had another burn spell. Guess I shouldn't have said anything, huh? So we're just trying to feel something, huh? Yeah, I've seen the first 3 episodes of New Chainsaw Man. It seems fine. I feel like it's one of those shows that like people hype up like insane and like probably just like can never ever live up to the hype is kind of my first impression. Kind of can't believe they had another bolt there. It must be freaking nice, dude. It must be nice to be a Murktide player. What is it? They have counterspell? I don't know. This is their 3rd counterspell. Like, their last card is almost, like, definitely Spell Pierce, I think, too. It must be nice to be a Murktide player. Okay, so we're just trying to feel something. That's fine. I feel like I want to be a 4th Teferi pretty badly here. $22 land seems a little low. Refresh it. Okay. Ooh, Wall of Omens. You know the way to my heart, huh? Alright, so do I need to gain life here? I think I need to gain life. They're gonna sack their Spellbomb, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. It's I've liked the first 3 episodes of Chainsaw Man, but like the way people talk about it, you would act like it is just like the most like refined, pure piece of media you've ever seen in your entire life, and you know, that hasn't been my first impression. Do we gain the life? We're dead on board anyways. Well, the thing is, we're trying to put a blocker for Ragavan, and then we're at 7. We're not dead on board. So if we draw like Ovalchase Daredevil, we're alive, and that we wouldn't be if we did sack the food. Frinzo, 15 months. Thank you. Oh, I guess holding could be good for like specifically Asmo. Smegarito's good. Yeah, I'm sure that it's good. I'm sure that it's very good. I hope that the hype is worth it. And again, I have like the first couple episodes. Wow, Unearthed into Asmo is actually insane. Classic complaining our way back into the W. Yeah, I think you're playing too few lands. I think I just want to cut all the Fables, play at least one more Teferi, and play 23 lands minimum. Not the Fable's bad, but just like Teferi's the better 3-drop. You need more lands. You're already playing, like, you have too many 3-drops, I think, right? This is 8? You play 8. Kind of want to get that number down, right? So they have to have another Lightning Bolt or Heat. Good fucking beats, man. I'm not dead, though. You definitely make up food here instead. Good beats. Yeah, I think when it will be 23 lands. Fire Ice is obviously not like a mandatory card, so if you really want to play Fable, then like if you want to play like a bunch of Fables and Teferis, you can cut the Fire Ices by 24 lands, and that'd be fine. Okay, now I don't really think we have outs. Oh, sorry, I accidentally closed the. Okay, never mind. I do love the Avalanche Riders. They may be a little slow these days, but kind of soft for it. Obviously, if you're playing 4 Teferis in main, you open up a sideboard slot. I don't know if Tron is popular enough to justify Subtlety, but you actually just have, you know, Titan to contend with. That's probably fine. I've been liking Wear Tear a lot lately. I'm gonna bring in these Murderous Cuts. Could bring in Needle for their graveyard hate. Don't usually bring in Ending, especially on the play. Ending is very awkward because you're really wanting to get Island Swamp with your fetch lands. Yeah, I think we just bring in 2 cuts for 2 civs. Click submit. You can play like 1 Flusterstorm. But that's a Fables that helps the mana, helps with the combo speed action. Yeah, Fable's fine. Fable's fine, but it's like with 3 Deceiver, Teferi. I think Teferi is better than Fable as a 3-drop in this deck. Teferi is like your best 3-drop. So like I would play the 4th Teferi, I think, before the first Fable. You can play like 4 Teferi, 3 Exarch, 2 Fable, but if you're gonna play that many 3-drops, you need to have more than 22 lands, probably 24, is my thinking. Let's get click submit. I am excited for Vegas. Yeah, I'm actually like a lot more excited now that I know I am in the Modern event tomorrow. Feels weird. Yesterday I was like playing D&D at, you know, like 9 p.m. and I like just look at the day of the week. I'm like, holy shit, I'm flying to Vegas tomorrow, and I haven't packed or done anything besides ask my mom if she can watch the dogs. So I'm gonna have a very busy day after the stream today. Maybe a little shorter. What 2 lands? Okay, hold on. That's probably the 4th Tarn. 4th Tarn, you can play 2nd Island also, maybe. Yeah, like 4th Tarn for sure, probably 2nd Island. I think I like the Lounge Headquarters split, yeah. So maybe it doesn't matter all that much. I'll keep Cookbook Daredevil Time Sieve. I know maybe not the best hand in this matchup, but just getting both of these down, like turn 1 Cookbook, turn 2 Time Sieve. We get 1/5 of a turn every single turn. This makes Asmo Cookbook, Manufactor all into like insane draws. Yeah, I like many modern players are fearful for MTG Vegas. I think it might be a little bit of a shit show, but it'll be. I know I'm gonna have fun no matter what, because there's just like a lot of people that I want to hang out with. That's like the 99% of the reason why I'm going. It's just to hang out with Esther and, you know, peeps. I feel like after getting Spell Pierced all day, every day yesterday, and that resolved very quickly, but after getting Spell Pierced all day yesterday, I'm kind of down to just wait. Although it looks like it was just Consider. Would Crop Rotation be overpowered and or toxic addition to Modern? I don't know. I feel like it would likely see play. I don't know if it would see a ton of play without Dark Depths, Wasteland, but you know, it's a format with Ren and 6 in it. No, can't be that bad. I mean, my opponent just like, they just have Counterspell here, it seems. I think I'm just content to keep developing my food so that when I go Time Sieve, I can maybe take a turn immediately. Maybe my opponent's going to want to tap out for Blood Moon, and I'll just untap and win. I think just like blanking their mana here probably is pretty nice. If they're setting up for a Murktide, I can untap and punish them. The first Horizons of Invigos was pretty decent, despite massive numbers. Yeah, we'll see. Like, I don't know. I'm apprehensive. I've, you know, heard things, and I hope that the things I've heard are unfounded. I hope that everybody lied to me. This is a pretty good pickup. I think this helps my game plan of just, you know, chilling for a while. Okay, so now I can play Asmo Cookbook with the ability to pay for Spell Pierce. I do think I'm still probably down to play around Spell Pierce a little bit. Maybe my opponent like bolts the Asmo in response to the trigger or something. That would be awesome. I don't know why they would do that. It looks like they're considering it. Awesome. This is amazing. Love this. Thoughts on Tez in this deck? Tez is completely unplayable in this deck and any deck in Modern. Back like when we were first working on this deck, it was like Tezzeret was a meme, like just like the 4-drop that is mandatory for grindy matchups. Just like if you're playing a Modern deck, you have to play random terrible 4-drop from Standards Past to help you out in the quote-unquote grindy matchups. Except the grindy matchups are like the Omnath Ridden 6 Teferi Omnath Expressive Iteration piles, and Tezzeret is like so severely outclassed. It's just like just a meme at this point, honestly. And also this deck is like very good at grinding. Like I don't want to play Tezzeret in this matchup. I don't want to play it against 4-color. The only matchup you would ever want it against is blue-white control, I think. And even then, they have like Leyline Binding now. 8/8 Murktide. It's pretty big. Obviously, it looks like my opponent has a counter spell. So let's try to bait the counter spell on Giganta here. I think it's kind of likely they take this bait. Okay. Now I'm going to take another turn. I'm going to sack my Springleaf Drum. And I'm hoping to draw another threat, so that way I can get either the Asmo or the other threat through the counterspell and connive. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So they're planning to counter the cookbook? Okay, so I think it's very clear they don't have counter spells. So we're trying to play around Spell Pierce by tapping Giganta to cast Unearth. I cannot remember the last time I tapped Giganta for mana, but surely they would have countered the Asmo, right? Oh, they would have countered the Asmo, and don't call me Shirley. Now, if they had Lightning Bolt, no counterspell, Lightning Bolt, like Spell Pierce, like yeah, I don't think Lightning Bolt makes sense because if they have Spell Pierce, Lightning Bolt, the Shredder would be dead already, right? So I don't think playing around Lightning Bolt is correct because I think they should have already killed the Shredder. Although I thought that last game and they just had it, okay, but they don't have it. Because, like, you know, they're a Murktide player. They should know how good Shredder is. If they don't have anything, we win, obviously. Maybe I'll play this deck in Vegas. What? How is that in their hand? I mean, they lose. The game's over. But all match, I've just been like, what? How in the world is this card in their hand? The entire match. The game is over, though. We just wait for the dress down to get sacked and then end of turn. Tap our cookbooks. In what world is Dress Down in their hand there after they let me do all this? They let Asmo trigger, they let Shredder trigger. This deck seems light on threats. How do you win? Yeah, it's tough. Tough to win. It's just the hardest time to win is when you have infinite turns, I find. Okay, I guess I don't need to. Sorry, just attack again. But it's playing super off meta. That is true. Yeah, nobody knows how to play against decks like this. Deck's good. Go to game 3. Yeah, I forgot my Celestial Colonnades. Ragavan is definitely more of an issue on the draw, but also like fetching white man on the draw is even scarier because your opponent's like gonna bloodbund you more aggressively. But I think maybe I can go down a Saga, down a Manufactor for like 2 endings on the draw. Is this like a good blue-white matchup? I usually beat blue-white with it. I don't know if that means it has a good matchup. So back when I used to play this deck a lot, blue-white wasn't playing any Rest in Peace, which probably makes the matchup worse. We scoop to the not played Stony Silence. Yeah. I will gift 5 subs to chat. Oh, never mind. I take this back, because if I say I'm going to give 5 subs to chat if we get Stony Silence today, some madman's going to register Stony Silence. Guys played Soul Guide over second Spellbomb. Sometimes Living End will have Leyline of Sanctity against you, and I want to be able to tutor up Soul Guide Lantern against the Leyline of Sanctity. Why no 3 minutes to Fairy? The short answer is that Flusterstorm is better against the Cascade decks and Creativity, which is what I want to hedge against. It's maybe a little bit more nuanced than that with like with me liking this matchup a lot. I think this matchup is pretty good. And so like I don't feel like I need to play to Fairy and hedge more for this matchup. I think blue-white is a fine matchup. Just these are not like, where I feel like I need to hedge. Alright, definitely what I was scared of. Maybe we'll get rewarded with an ending. No such luck. Gonna get hit by Ragavan, a fate worse than death. I may be lucky and become the first modern player to ever get hit by a Ragavan and win a game, though. Oatmeal Appreciator. Great username. I think it's 4 months. Looking forward to high-quality interactive Pioneer gameplay. Yeah, there's a lot of hype in the chat today about the Trickery deck, it seems. We'll play that next. They have their own Shredder. Three cards in their hand. I think I'm gonna get hit by Ragavan again. I feel like I need to get this Connive off so this Shredder beats Lightning Bolt. I know I let them Connive too, but I think I'm just like way too weak to Bolt if I just pass. We can also bounce the Shredder. I mean, next turn. This is in Delirium. Our previous list had a Mox Amber I was impressed by. I've never played a Mox Amber in this deck. Someone else did maybe, but I didn't. You could. You could play one, but I never have. Have I tried Unearth Grist? I've had a few decks that play both Unearth and Grist, yeah. Dude, their draws this match have been absurdly good all 3 games. We just got lucky in game 2, I think, that they... I mean, I guess the game 2 draw wasn't crazy, but their game 1 and 3 draws were absurd. Right on time. Prismatic Ending. Are we ever alive here? No, we don't have enough the right mana to play these 3 spells. Could this deck go Grixis for Engineer, Trash for Treasure? Trash for Treasure would not make this deck better at all. I think Engineer also makes the deck worse. Your mana's a lot worse when you play a third color in the main deck, and then I think Engineer is like would be the weakest card in the deck in a deck list that isn't super flexible in the main. If I've been playing any Breach variants lately, I still have been liking the Gruul version. I'm like somewhat likely to play that in Vegas. We'll see. Wait, easy keep. I think I might loot away the Shadowspear with the Shredder, so I'll just play a tapped Watery Grave on turn 1. What Aether Vial the deck? I mean, it's very easy to like suggest, you know, Aether Vial, Mox Amber, these kind of cards. I actually view the main deck as being like really tight with not a lot of room. If you're going to suggest these cards, I would love to hear what you are wanting to cut to make room for them. I think really the only flex spot in the main deck is the Shadowspear, so like a Vial over the Shadowspear would be fine, I suppose. But I think for the most part, it's not a change I advocate for, I guess. It could be better than I think. But the thing is, like, you want to tutor Cookbook really aggressively in this deck. This deck is... Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I guess I loot away the Shredder because of the Unearthed. This deck very, very aggressively wants to get Cookbook. And so, like, you're very rarely going to tutor Vial to put Asmo to play. You'd rather just get another Cookbook a lot of the time, most of the time. Cut the Mox, yeah, cut the Mox Amber that's not in the deck for Aether Vial. Scion, that's fine. More than fine, really. Wow, great draw too. So, Unearth target Shredder. Would love for this not to get forced. Binding. Not ideal. Not the end of the world either. How about bug food? It's with Peace and Love, it's started to become a pet peeve of mine for people to suggest like color combinations of decks with like what are we splashing green without saying what you're splashing green for. They're just like Sultai fans, like, what if this was a Sultai deck with like no indication of what we're splashing green for? Naya food. Just like Spike, what if this deck was my favorite color combo? Gaming 3 months finale. You can't splash green for finale in this deck. That would be incredibly different. It's a double green card on turn 2. Love to find a Daredevil. Oh, baby. It's just that easy. Probably should have attacked first. Oh yeah, I forgot that I was the Sultai guy. Who was it that declared me the Sultai guy? That was the most random thing ever. It's a funny day. Maybe I play this deck in Vegas. This deck is just the sweetest shit ever. Nobody's gonna be ready for it. We have a Manufactor in the yard. I think with a Manufactor in the yard, I'm going to play my Time Sieve this turn. Played Sultai, Goose with Food and Show. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's a very different deck, though. Like, that's like a completely different build. And it's fine to play a different build, but it's just like... my brain's not a compiler. I can't just compile, you know. I gotta hear what we're splashing green for, right? I do feel like this deck is cracked. I don't know. Like, I really expect... I really don't expect Karn the Great Creator to be common, and like with that being the case, I think this deck is going to be like something I'm excited to have in a field of, you know, creativity, Murktide, Hammer Time, Omnath decks, blue-white control. Against a Violent Outburst, I think this is the block I like. Feels like a Violent Outburst. I get to eat the Scion and trade here, take 10, untap and win. Alright, seems they didn't have it. Can I ship you the list somehow? I do deck techs for $10. Like, unfortunately, like I've seen that deck in the past. I've seen that deck in the past. It is completely different from this one. I understand it, but it's, you know, I just can't look at everybody's list, unfortunately. All right, so they can kill 2 of my creatures here. They also have 1 card left in their hand. They pitched Violent Outburst. What makes you like the second creativity? Mostly Asmo, I think, is pretty good, very good against them. You have to kind of like plan, right? Plan for them to creativity you, but I think Asmo is really good against their deck. Okay, so I think they chose pretty well there. Last card, Omnath. It's a fairy. Okay. Please bounce my Asmo. Maybe they bounce their Binding. Very good turn for my opponent. Go play a Water Window Box. Go play Ally Mine. Good luck. Good luck. Are we on the Daredevil to make the trade play? Let's see what they do first. They bounce a food token. I think that line's fine. It's a good line. They drew a Mischief Return. That's good news. Okay. I think the line I like here is equip Shadowspear. I'm sorry for rhyming. Equip Shadowspear, kill Teferi, and then plan to untap Asmo to trade it for a Rhino. All right, double rhyme. Then I have a second Asmo to replay, and then double food kill this. Check Twitter. Oh boy. Oh no. I have 20 notifications. Oh, just match 1 game 1. Yeah. The deck's nuts. The deck is like. I really do think the Trickery deck is nuts. We're gonna be playing it after this league. It feels like to me that you are playing Texas Hold'em with pocket aces and you're all in pre-flop every single time. I don't know if that analogy makes sense, but it just feels like you just go all in, pocket aces every single time. You have to win 2 out of 3. And like your aces are going to get cracked like 20% of the time, probably higher than that. Like in poker it's 20%. In this it's like, 30% of the time. You just win 2 games. I think that's the best way to talk about how I think about the deck, at least. And it stinks like if I'm not queued for the regional championship, and I'm not. It's a little bit too early for me to say I would play it in the RC anyways, but it's like I don't want to play it in the like last chance qualifiers, but like I might bring like a deck to play in the last chance qualifiers, and then like play that in the tournament. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. So up a game against Rhinos. Gonna bring in the full 4 Flusterstorm. I think on the play I'll play Ego. I don't think I want them on the draw. Like you saw here, the matchup is like really not that bad. I'm gonna cut the Nihil Spellbomb. Aether Spellbomb is fine. I think you cut usually 2 Time Sieve, 1 Manufactor. If Black-Red, Mull Heart, you a Thoughtseize? Yeah, I would say so. Although one issue against Thoughtseize with Trickery is that they do have Nephalia Academy to stop it. Sorry, this is the wrong list. This is the list I played for content for the YouTube video with all the trolls and the You Are Already Dead in the sideboard. Just trying to like actually always win on turn 2. But this is the list I am currently recommending. And what we're going to be playing next. But like the thing in Pioneer is like there's just no counter spells in the format, or there's very few counter spells in the format, and against like all of the aggro decks, against mono green, against Rakdos, it just feels like you can't lose when you get to do your thing most of the time.
Plug this into
yeah, that's fine. No, it's the charge. You can hit 3. Yeah, you can actually even play around Spell Pierce pretty well with the deck if you want to. Okay, this is good against my hand, but beatable. Pioneer's an unfun format. I like Pioneer in small doses. That has definitely been my engagement, is small doses. Is the turn 3 version just worse? So it's not just worse. There are differences. I do think I prefer this version for a few different reasons. Those reasons are, one, with this version I showed, you are super comfortable mulliganing to 3. You can even win on mulligan to 2s like pretty often, where like your deck, you have a lot of lands, and a lot of them are scry lands. So if your 3-card hand is a scry land, Tibble's Trickery, Skunkcoil Serpent, you're like just very likely to win on turn 2. And then I've mulliganed to 2 plenty of times and won last night. I had actually two times last night I mulliganed to 2, and my opponent in the chat was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry." And I'm looking at Tibble's Trickery Serpent, and I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It happens." Thank you for saying that. That's really nice of you. And I win on turn 2 or turn 3. Yeah, call the ambulance. Yikers. Gross. Yeah, we'll cycle the Unearth this turn. Alright. A lot of hate cards, huh? A lot of sideboard cards. Hypes, 11 months, thank you. So spin some footfalls. So we do have not have any blue cards here. We do have or white cards here. We do have Flusterstorm up because of the food or treasure tokens. So I'm just gonna go main phase, manufactor, discard if they have second green card, good for them. Ugin Baby Trap. I ended up cutting the Ugin Evian for Kozilek's. And I never cascaded into Kozilek, but I think in theory, like a lot of times when you Kozilek, you're gonna be able to do it again next turn because you're gonna draw like 7 cards, 6-7 cards, and then you have a 12 minutes, draw 7 cards. That's pretty good, right? Because you just mulligan so low every game. Is land destruction a realistic idea in Modern with this much free stuff? I guess I'm not sure what the free stuff exactly has to do with it. Like, so like when the free spells in Modern are not proactive, when the free spells in Modern are reactive cards like Solitude, Fury, Force of Negation, Force of Vigor, those cards don't really matter. Like, land destruction is still good against those cards because you're not able to like be behind on board, or these cards are not going to get ahead on board after you blow up your opponent's lands. That being said, I am not of the opinion that land destruction is a particularly good strategy in Modern. But I don't think that cards like Fury, Solitude are like particularly detrimental. In fact, I would love to have a land destruction spell right now. Yeah, if anything is making land destruction less viable, it's probably the 2-mana planeswalker that returns lands. Probably, I guess I should have sacked this clue first. I'll sack it now. Kajal Saga. If I cast this, I get 2 connives, but I kind of want to connive this away. Yeah, let's wait. Do I have command zone access? I don't know command zone access. I have a Sapphire pass. Volcano, 4 months, thank you. Listen, these badges cost a lot. If I can't just like go play some pickup commander, that's gonna be pretty dumb. if whatever badge I have doesn't allow me to just go play some pickup games of commander, like why that'll be a dumb thing. I don't think you can. Okay, is that if that's how it works, then oh boy. Okay, I think I don't play the Asmo so I can hold up the Flusterstorm here. Sapphire Pass is the best, right? Since it makes blue. Oh yes, of course, of course. You could definitely play just on the command zone. Okay. What is the command zone? What is that? What even is the command zone? Thoughts it could be a Minamo hand to make a clue. You only make a clue if you have the manufacturer in play. They make food right now. Command zone allows you to play for ticks on the prize wall. Okay, okay. Well, I don't know. Okay. We'll see. Why do I have to lose die rolls at modern? What is wrong with this format that you're capable of losing a die roll ever with hands that just really want to be on the play? Not gonna lie, casted Gigantic seemed decent. Yeah, I think I liked my line. I think I liked getting them shredders bigger, but yeah, you cast it sometimes. What's on a mold of 6? Ask Pioneer. Yeah, it's worse than Pioneer, huh? Look. I mean, I don't know. We get scammed. You get scammed sometimes. I think Unearth is an underutilized card in the format. I've played a lot of Unearth decks in Modern. This is one of them. I would say underutilized, yeah. I think it's a pretty powerful card. I've always liked the formula also of Collected Company plus Unearth, which really just maximizes the power of 3-mana creatures. And so I've played decks like this a few times in the past. Just, you know, max out on 3 drops, and then your Unearths and your Cocos make, you know, these 14 cards crazy. And so I think every time another good 3-mana creature gets printed into Modern, Unearth gets better, and a deck like this gets better. Really, but honestly, we just need something that's better than Tarmogoyf, I think, is really what this deck needs. Or like a better 1-drop or a better 2-drop. Could play Voidwalker, but it's not as good. Alright. How about Jund Pyromancer with Young PZ, Sedgemoor Witch, Unearth, Coco, and other cool stuff? Well, I was not on board until you said other cool stuff, and then I got somewhat interested. I got a little interested after you suggested other cool stuff. But, you know, the reality is with a suggestion like that, if you're playing Sedgemoor Witch and Young Pyromancer, those 2 cards require your deck to be almost exclusively instants and sorceries. Unearth requires your deck to be almost exclusively creatures, or like 20 plus creatures to Unearth. Coco requires like 27 creatures to hit off Coco. So with Yorion banned, there's no way for you to fit a deck that's all creatures and instants and sorceries, right? It's the classic ephemerate Snapcaster problem. What if you played Leyline in normal board, Lotus Field, minus Slavex when you hear your 1 wall? Yeah, you could play it in Lotus Field. You could also play Karuga, although Karuga is obviously harder to cast. Okay, I think it's gonna be a classic Shadowspear game where you just go token, Springleaf Drum, land, equip. Does that change that dynamic? Here, now we go. Cookbook. Oh no, I'm 1 card short of... Sorry, I'm 1 card short of going Manufactor... Cookbook. So I have to go Manufactor, discard a land, do the thing, play the land, equip, drain for 8. Adventure creatures? Wow, we solved it. So I don't know, it's just always the play mediocre cards to make your mediocre cards better. Classic solution. Hopefully they have all red removal in their hand. But their hand can't be 3 lightning bolts though. All red removal, but not 3 lightning bolts. Yeah, if their hand is exactly 3 bolts, we die, which is, you know, good beats. if that's what happens. Yield to just deciding if I want to sack the Bauble or not. Okay, so he's a Pyromancer. Let's sacrifice it. We're not killing them this turn unless we draw a Manufactor, I think, anyways. Okay, love to see that on top of their library right now. Unearth, I guess, also is a crazy draw. Alright. So if I discard here, cast Cookbook, I'm attacking for 8, I go up to 14. They don't have to block, but if I play the Cookbook, they do have to block because I can threaten 9 by discarding the Cookbook. So they block here, they go to 1. Then they have 8 points of power in play. I'm at 14. And so they once again have to have 2 bolts in their hand, which is, again, not very likely. I also, I guess, have the Emry I could block with, so... Yeah, let's just go cast Cookbook, attack. I could also potentially discard both here and then choose to gain 3 life. We'll see. I think if my opponent blocks with just the Elemental, that's a bit more reasonable. There's a chance they block with like the Spyro too if they're scared. Am I supposed to mulligan do exactly Trickery Snake every time? Yes. I think you should go down to 2 looking for Trickery Snake. And then like when you're at 2, you hope to draw lands, ideally a Scry land. Okay, yeah, I think with this block, I'm just gonna play the Emry. So if they draw a removal spell, we have the Emry to try to fall back on. I really didn't realize that there was going to be so much demand for the Trickery deck today. We'll finish up this league, but I was like a little bit worried that people weren't really going to want to see it after like the YouTube video. I don't know why. Why? I just thought they'd have gone their fill, I guess. Where can you find the Tricky deck list? You can find it on this channel after I start. I'll post it when I start playing it. Is the plan. Thank you, Regard. We're actually considering playing the Trickery Hot Mess. Yes. Not after playing the deck last night, I am currently of the opinion that the Trickery deck is legitimately good in Pioneer. I think I go for Manufactor here. I'm not saying it's broken. I'm not saying it's broken. However, in this current Pioneer format that is incredibly light on counter magic, you just get to cast a turn 2 Eldrazi with a big high degree of consistency. Oh, good draw, good draw. You just get to put a turn 2 Eldrazi into play like all the time, and it's really good. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna sack a food, go to 11. If they haste their grief here, they're taking for 7, block here. Okay. Yeah, does Tricky be veto? On the play, yeah. On the play. You're weak to counter spells. So like you're weak to being on the draw, turn 1 Thoughtseize. On the play, you do have Nephalia Academy. You can still be Thoughtseize is still gonna beat you a lot of the time, but against most of the decks in Pioneer, you just they just can't do anything against you. It's ridiculous. And I think making a food is better than equipping Shadowspear. It's just 2 life if they don't have a removal spell versus 3 life for sure. Although I guess I don't need to do anything yet because I'm going to 4, not 3. Okay, crack at instant speed. Yeah, mono green specifically just literally can't do a thing against you. Yeah, and then I don't know. Again, the control matchups are not favorable, but again, the way I'm thinking of the deck right now is you are just going all in pre-flop with pocket aces every single game. And you are going to win a lot more than you're going to lose. Not as much as pocket aces. This is maybe like pocket queens or something. But that's still a pretty good place to be, you know what I mean? Yeah, your win rate is just really good, I think, with the deck. At least that was my experience. Maybe I was running hot last night, but no cookbook response to grief. Oh, sorry, I should have. But no. You don't want a cookbook response. Oh wait, no, sorry. You're still making the same number of tokens. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna cast the Time Sieve and discard a Daredevil to cookbook no matter what, right? I don't think it doesn't make any difference because it plays your removal spell a bit better. But we have figured out how to make infinite turns here. Opponent, not sure. Not sure if we could win from this spot. Alright. Now they think we can win. I think I'm just running it back. Who's my favorite Pauper content creator? Andre Yamaguchi, I suppose. I like Caleb Gannon a lot. I more so watch his Cube stuff, but I've watched some of his Pauper videos. I like those. In creativity, his Tails and good enough against Orvar. I would just play Veil of Summer instead. This hand's close. This hand is obviously needs to draw a land, but it's really good if we draw a land. We have 3 looks on the draw. We have double Bauble. I'm gonna try it. It's a matchup you don't want to mulligan it very aggressively. I guess I play Spellbomb so that I can get one more look at a land. Yeah, Caleb's really good. Caleb's just a great content creator. Just like builds really cool, interesting decks. Great cube drafter. Really good to listen to. I like Caleb a lot. Would ever go on play to win with Magda? I don't know. I don't know what play to win is. I don't know. I also don't know that I'm playing to win. I don't know. So like the way I've got the Magda deck built, it's like it's pretty high power level, right? But the idea is I'm really just trying to put dragons into play, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to go super duper crazy, if that makes sense. Alright, let's play this. Honest question. Was a little bit suspicious before you preface this with honest question. In paper, can you demand opponent to concede after you've demonstrated the combo? Even if they have a card in hand, as in either respond now or concede. So you could say you could demonstrate the loop. So I've never had an opponent. Not let me go. Hey, I have infinite turns. I'm gonna kill you with Urza Saga tokens and attack you or attack with like Ledger Shredder. I've never had an opponent go. All right, let's play it out. You would have to just call a judge. I don't know if that exactly if there's anything else you need to do in that situation. But as always, just call judge. Yeah, I have a Bauble in the yard. I'll cast this Emry. It's by giving them Voidwalker fuel. You can't make your components concede. So I know that with some loops, right? With some loops, like you say, okay, this is an infinite loop, and I'm dealing you infinite damage here. Do you have anything you can do to respond? Like your opponents do have to like do something or lose, die or concede, right? In paper with infinite loops, like your opponent does have to like say respond or let the loop happen. They can't just like say, okay, let's do this trigger, then that trigger, then that trigger, and like slow play until you draw. That's not legal. But with something like infinite turns, the infinite turns is a little bit different than infinite damage. So I'm not sure exactly how it loops, but I know with infinite damage, it's they're not allowed to just like slow play until until there's a draw. Dude, Ledger Shredder is so sick in the stack. What does my interaction suite look like in Magda? Do I have Deflecting Swat? I have very little interaction. I have Blood Moon Magus, Shattering Spree, Vandal Blast, Karn the Great Creator. I think that's it. I don't know what Deflecting Swat does. I defend Reduke, by the way, when he's like, I really don't want to play... I don't want to play the... What is the Chaos Warp? I think that card is terrible. I know I'm, like, out of my element or whatever, but... I don't want to play it. I'm not going to. You can't make me. That's kind of a lot. I mean, I don't know. That's like 4 or 5 interactive cards in a, like, 100-card deck. Chaos Warp good. There are so many crazy giant permanents in EDH. Like, I know you're not going to hit it all of the time, but it's a 3-mana 1-for-1 that might put an Omniscience into play. You know what I mean? It's like... just you're a mono red deck. Just let other people answer stuff. Just like you just put threats into play, let other people answer stuff. I think is my philosophy at least. Chaos Warp fun. I agree. Chaos Warp fun. Chaos Warp fun. Not like super on theme with the deck, but yeah. I've also seen Chaos Warp be very bad. I've seen it be incredibly bad. Obviously, it's a high variance card, but people act like it just goes in every red deck, and I'm not so sure. Do you play EDH to be optimal? No, but then it's like, you know, just let me do my suboptimal things, right? You can, like, I like my you know, I'm not playing my Clock of Omens combo, but I am playing like all the good fast mana or most of it. I don't have Mox Diamond. I don't have Mox Opal. Although I don't know if I want to play Mox Opal. Oh wait, that was Hidetsugu. I mean, I'm dead to Hidetsugu. Bummer. Yeah, just never beating that here. Should have floated mana, made a token, but even then, we're super dead. That card is crazy good. Can we Unmoored Ego Hidetsugu? No way. Can I post Jessica Lowe's field deck and stream with on Stream Decker? It should be there. I guess if you're asking, it's not, huh? Inning for Dothy. You have Asmo for Dothy. You're on the play. And then it's like, this is a Blood Moon matchup, so like the endings are worse because you don't want to be like fetching. You want to be fetching basics a lot of the time. Oh, I love Mono Blue Devotion. That's a great great deck. Okay, let me just double check the Stream Decker. I did like the deck. We 4-1s with the Leyline Binding version of Kruger yesterday. The only league we played of that version. The non-binding version felt worse. We were like 0-3 drop into 3-2, I think. But it's always like, I don't know, I was talking about this yesterday too. It's just you win if I go, you know, 3-2 4-1 0-3 drop, nobody cares. But if I go 0-3 drop, everybody with a new list, everybody, the chat is unkempt. Okay, yeah, I'll update the I'll put the other one in the list. I'm assuming this is the right one. Hold on. It's maybe correct to play Saga on turn 1, so that if they have Blood Moon, I get to get something, but I mean, probably not. Yeah, sorry, I have to rename the file and everything. Hold on. Blood Moon turn 1 in Modern? No, I don't know if I don't think I misspoke. What I'm saying here is I'm wanting to play around in early Blood Moon by playing Saga on turn 1. I thought that was somewhat clear. I guess not. I would rather my Asmo get bolted than my Shredder, so it's any plans to try out the 4-color Kruger Omnet deck? I'd love to see me play it. I mean, I usually like to play decks that I'm innovating on rather than just, you know, pick up someone's list. I do like the list, though. I think it's cool. If I have ideas for it, maybe we'll play it. So I don't have the file on my desktop. I have to go dig it up and export it. I just made changes in the list and then rented like the specific cards. Okay, no removal spell. Obviously, if we get hit at Sugud, we get hit at Sugud. That card just seems pretty tough to beat. I've been playing a lot of these kind of decks lately, and that card is tough. Okay, so if they... Yeah, there's not a window for me to kill this and not get scammed. Could maybe have been good to play the Nihil Spellbomb. Not the end of the world, though. Especially if we draw land. Can make big construct. Okay, finally. Finally, it's in the stream deck. Okay. Rat Poison, thank you for the 5 months. And Frieza with the 1 million channel points if you're a pure mod. If you post which one you'd prefer in the chat, we can get you taken care of. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna play Spellbomb, Emry, and not feel great about missing this land drop. Oh, whoops. In the second main phase, we'll play Emry. Since I'm VIP, let's become mod too. You cannot become a VIP and a mod. Twitch doesn't let you be both. We could refund your million channel points, but yeah, it's you can't be both at the same time. But that is the first ever double redemption, or maybe you were given it freely earlier. But this is maybe the first million channel point refund we've had, which is funny. Alright, taking 6. Yeah, you could switch if you wanted, but I don't know if I'd make you pay. Oh, sorry, what am I doing? Obviously supposed to make 2 food in response there. Man, their jaw's pretty good, huh? I don't have the needle in the deck at the moment either. Alright, so I think we just untap. I obviously should have made 2 foods in response. Mistake. Okay. I'm gonna Springleaf Drum. Discard Daredevil. Presumably they're gonna Hearse in response. They target the Manufactor or the Daredevil, which I'm just gonna let happen, I think. So I can go Shredder, Unearth Asmo. Watching the preview show? I don't know what that is. Listen, I get all of my Magic info and news from Twitch chat. Solomon Light played over Container Priest away for Rhinos is also better against Living End. And also like dodges Lightning Bolt. Spoiler stream starts in 2 minutes. I never watch the spoiler streams. They're you know, with peace and love to people that put them on. Usually kind of boring, and I get the info later anyways. I'm sure people in chat will send us all the interesting cards. Frieza wants mod. Okay. We can make that switch. Damn it. Your hand is pretty good, huh? It's not over, obviously. Not over. Not ogre. One good top deck, huh? Deserves another. So I can cast out the cookbook to connive and like try to get a counter on the shredder, but I think I'd probably rather hold up spellbomb sack and the ability to connive away the extra cookbook. They're announcing a card you can only play if you watch the stream. It's funny. It's always spoiler season. I am happy, honestly, to be back in like spoiler season all the time. This summer was a rough summer. Too long before new cards in the new set. Maybe we should have sacked the Spellbomb into turn. I think it's okay to hold it up. Let's talk with just the Asmo so I can cycle the Unearth if I want to, need to, whatever. Next summer will be the same? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's probably what the next trophy race will be. Uh-oh. How do they have Thoughtseize? It's fine. Don't mind. I thought we were gonna get hit at Sugud or something. Thoughtseize is kind of like the worst spell they can ever have. Alright, let's cycle the Spellbomb. Yeah, I think I got very lucky to have a really good summer with like lots of good brews, but it's hard to like guarantee that kind of that kind of success, you know. All right, let's stick with both this turn. I think I'm gonna play my Watery Grave tapped, and if they hearse end of turn, we just double discard and response. And then we could keep making a Daredevil, and then when they like go to hearse the Daredevil, we just discard this cookbook. When I play third cookbook, so we can discard 3 times. So that this I don't need the third cookbook really. I don't need all these. I don't need all the extra food yet. And the idea is that next turn, this is a card I don't mind discarding. So if I draw a good spell, I can go discard Daredevil, they hearse, I discard the cookbook, and then I have theoretically another good spell too. Okay, it's fine. Although now I might just cast the freaking Daredevil. No, let's just Gigantha in the hand. Don't get one shot by hearse. I've got food. I guess if I Gigantha, I don't have food. This is a 8 power creature, so 10 power. I guess I do die to some stuff. Yeah, you never died to anything before. They have to have 2 things. They have to have like crew plus bolt or something. They pretty clearly don't have bolt. Yeah, it is crazy we're winning this game when they have, you know, Blood Moon Hearse, Double Fury, Engineered Explosives, and I like missed my 3rd land drop. That was like very crucial not to miss. Okay, 3 and 1. 3 and 1. Deck's feeling pretty sick. Our loss was to a Murktide opponent who is definitely high rolling. Get a 4-1 prediction, and I will give the people what they want with Tybalt's Trickery after this. Probably mulliganing. If I knew the Spellbomb was good, I'd keep. That's great. Put back 2nd Shredder. New Belch art. Yeah. I don't know if like it's probably a bit too early to get links and stuff. Maybe I'll just peek into the stream. Return to the past to save the future. What does that mean? Wait, Belcher's gonna be in Pioneer? There's all the MDFCs in Pioneer. Maybe fine. It's maybe fine. It's kind of scary though. Like a little scary with all the MDFCs. Or if it's not Pioneer legal, it's not. I mean, I don't know. I know there's Ironcrag Feet Belcher. You just go. That is kind of scary, right? There's the 2-mana enchantment. Yeah, if it's not Pioneer legal, I mean, obviously, who cares? But okay, new card. Prototype cast a spell with different mana cost, color, size, keep its abilities. Okay, so it becomes you can do 3 mana, 3/3, Menace Lifelink,
Board, pay life equal to its power, or 7 mana. Okay. Interesting mechanic. So it's going to be 3 mana, 3 mana, Minus Lifelink Ward, lose 3 life. Most of the time in the late game, it's 7 power. Cool card. Not a modern card, but a cool card. Oh, actually, never mind. The fact that it's a 7 mana value 3-drop is relevant. It's something you have to like keep looking at. Just like getting a 7 mana permanent for 3 mana is like potential combo card. Urza, Power Stone Prodigy. How many Urzas are there? Draw a card, discard a card. Whenever you discard one or more artifact cards, create a Power Stone token. Cool. Limited card. But how many Urzas are there? Golly. I remember being an old head, or a young man at the LGS, and everybody's like, they never printed an Urza card. There's no card that depicts Urza on it. One day maybe they'll print Urza on a card, but right now there's none of them. Now we have a million Urzas. Alright, crack this down because I could Jolt Daredevil. Attacks, exile, card from the graveyard, unearth. Okay. This card's actually kind of cool. Got Texan for a second. Yeah, when I remember my past, my Texan accent slips out. The Blind Seer. Yeah, people are like, hey, the Blind Seer is actually Urza, we think. Titania, Voice of Gaia, Asa, reach whatever one of her land cards is put in your graveyard anywhere, gain 2 life. If you give your upkeep, if there are 4 more lands in your graveyard and you own both Titania and this land, I think, they fuse into Titania, Gaia Incarnate, Vigilance, Trample, Reese. Well, what the hell? In this battlefield, return all land cards from graveyard to the battlefield tapped. What the hell? 4 counters on it. Do you just have to control this and the land to meld it? What is the land? I missed it. Come back. They always do this too fast. They always put the cards on way too fast. Okay, there it goes. Wait. Okay. Upkeep 4 more cards in land cards in your yard, and you just control this land. And you get to take a bear with the land? Seems not terrible. Seems not terrible. You can get 4 lands in your yard. No problem at Modern. Seems not terrible. You can play the one drop that sacks a land, put that card into play. Violent Titania end of turn, untap, I don't know. Probably the barrier to entry in Modern is obviously like super high, things don't usually make it, but that card does not seem terrible. Okay, so we can unearth the Emry next turn. Time for mulch, baby. Oh, Titania is also unearthable. Titania is also unearthable. That's a really exciting card. Greasefang backup plan? Yeah, maybe. Don't hate the thought. Daredevil. Awesome. I ever play around main deck Endurance, I don't know. Doesn't cost us much too. Yeah, she doesn't die to bolts. Unearthable. I don't hate that card. I really don't hate that card. Okay, so spins of Footfalls. Passes. We're at 11. We have a Spellbomb. Bauble, Time Sieve. Did the 4 Paralands announced an Empire? I think they already announced that, but yeah, you can play it in a Lord of Windgrave stack in Modern 2, more random lands. That card's like Titania seems nuts, honestly. What was the power toughness? What was Titania's power toughness when she flips? XX? Yeah, what is X? Really need to draw a spell here. Oh, I guess I can go Bauble, untap Emry's, get a second spell. Maybe crack a food here. Let me look at my top card. Island. Okay, I want to put that into play. Well, maybe just draw it. No. I want to draw spells. So go untap Emry. When she flips, she can be a minimum. So she seems good. I don't know. The card seems good, dude. We'll take an Asmo. We'll take an Asmo. That's okay. That's a fine draw. That's a fine pickup here. We're just like stabilized now. If they have another violent outburst, we're in for trouble maybe. I mean, Titania is a 3-mana creature that you like have to untap with, but she also has other text on her too on the front half. She's unearthable, tutorable, traversable if you're playing traverse in your deck that cares about cards in the graveyard anyway, so you might be. I like Titania. We will definitely like try to play Titania. We'll see how it works out. Okay, Force of Negation is their draw if they don't shuffle. Which Titania's a 3/4. They just spoiled a new one. The card, I don't know all the text because these new cards on the spoiler stream, they go way too fast. The spoiler streams are like, this is the structure of the spoiler stream. It's like 10-15 minutes of just one person sitting in a room talking, and then it's like you don't there's so much text on the cards, you don't have time to read the card and soak it in, and it's just gone. It's just gone way too quickly. Just like leave it up a little bit. You can read it on Reddit. Hey, Castor, respect other people in the chat. Chill. Warning. 3/2 for League of Trickery. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think the deck is real. I don't think it's broken necessarily, but I think the deck is like real and underplayed. Multi-2 4 times. Yeah, you're gonna multi-2. Did you win on any of your multi-2s? I went on 2 multi-2s last night. Won on one of them. Makes the deck less night, calls it underplayed. I mean, with Tibble's Trickery, it's like super easy to evaluate the fact that it's underplayed. Where Tibble's Trickery is like, it's just a deck where you go all in. There's like no nuance with it, really. You just all in every single time, and like being all in, like it feels like you've got a pretty high win rate with it. Thank you, Turnpike. Okay, so this is new Titania. 3/4 rich, whenever you crack a fetch land, gain 2 life. Beginning of upkeep, if you control this land and 4 or more cards in the graveyard, easy. Or, you have to do some work, but it's a format with fetch lands. You meld it into Vigilance, Reach, Trample, Haste, Power and Toughness equal to lands you control, Splendid Reclamation on ETB, so return all lands from graveyard to play. There's already a minimum 4. And then 4 mana, 4 counters on target land you control, becomes elemental with haste. Commander card. I think you could definitely try to play this Modern or Pioneer or Destructotron. Looks clunky. I don't know. Like, it is a 3 mana card you have to untap with, but like, what other 3 mana card is going to be a,
you untap with it, and it's a 7/7 Vigilance, Trample, Reach, Haste, return 4 lands to play with a powerful activated ability, right? Like, no Fetches of Pioneer. Yeah, in Modern though, like this is like some of the most value you can ever get for 3 mana, and in Modern, and you know, it doesn't cost you that much to set this up. Obviously, it costs you some, but you know, if you're just like looking for like power for 3 mana, this is more than maybe any card in Magic's history, to be honest. So like to say that's a little clunky, maybe, but the card is really crazy, and it is definitely powerful enough to try to build around. Yeah, you can Coco into her, you can unearth her, you can Witch's Cottage her, you can unearth her. If you go, you can go Coco into her end of turn, untap trigger attack. Witch's Cottage to set her up, and Witch's Cottage will, you know, you want to pay a lot of fetch lands anyways if you're trying to cottage. New Teferi? Okay. That sounded bad. Okay, I don't know. Listen, I'm not saying the card breaks Modern, but it is you know more value than you get for 3 mana than maybe any other card of Magic's history. So we're gonna look closer at it. Land would be really nice here. All right, that's a land. Okay, let's hold up the Flusterstorm. Flusterstorm is for Cascade decks, creativity mostly. Oh, Dress Down her sound bad. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I mean, Dress Down against her is very good, huh? Teferi, Temporal Pilgrim, 5 mana, mono blue. Whenever you draw a card, put a loyalty counter on Teferi. Sick. 0 draw a card, make a 2/2 spirit. Whenever you draw a card, put a counter on it. Okay. Target opponent chooses a permanent they control and returns it to the hand, and they shuffle each non-permanent they control to the library. Not in love with the card. It's a very cool card. Probably doesn't see any 60 card constructed format play. I kind of want to Shredder this turn. Yeah, I wish the ult was better for a -12. I know that you can like get to it fast because of the draw cards, but this definitely looks like the kind of card that they were really scared to power up, if that makes sense. Standard is constructed kind of. I mean, I can't really imagine that card seeing play in Standard either, but I guess I don't really know what Standard looks like, but most Standard formats I've played, I don't think that's something I would expect to see play. Despite previewing the cards, we're just kind of like, yeah, we're looking at them, you know, some of them. The Titania, that card is crazy. You know, the plan of untapping. So like, there's a lot of cards in Modern that are there's a lot of 3 mana creatures in Modern that if you untap with the card, it's crazy. If you untap with this, you know, with the 3 mana creature, it's like very, very good. There's a lot of 3 mana creatures. If you untap with them, they're crazy. The new Titania, you have to do some setup work for it, but usually this is not a very good strategy. However, this is a 3 mana creature that's 4 toughness, so at least dodges bolt, has an ability to gain life with fetch lands, so you get some value out of it, and it is an insane amount of value if you get to do the meld. It is like unreal everything you get with that. So definitely a card to be looking at. Love to draw a freaking Daredevil. Probably getting a Springleaf Drum. Yeah, we'll just get Springleaf Drum so we can play another Saga this turn. Is the new Worm just better than Worm Coil? What is the one that you can pay for 3 mana? I don't think so, if that's the one we're talking about. Yeah, good to see the Pain lands coming for sure. Way too long. Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor. Whenever a creature does combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life. They do draw a card. Okay, on 3 mana, 3/3. 7 mana, discard X cards, stop card, X card your library.
You play lands, you cast spells, not paying their mana cost. Cool, EDH effect. You just goes to do Urza. The uncommon or common one, that one's just like a limited card. I think. Okay, I mean Daredevil would be nice. You don't need the Daredevil to, you know. Oh my gosh. I might debate myself into playing this deck in Vegas, but this deck is really good, and like we lost a match to a Murktide player who had like, you know, insane draws in games 1 and 3, which, you know, it's Murktide, that's gonna happen sometimes. And we've played through a lot of hate today, so I don't know. It's also Vegas. Like I want to play the decks that I think are fun. Although I have to take some of my cards out of my EDH deck to play this, I guess, which is not the end of the world either. Have you seen the deck archetype spread for Worlds? I haven't, no. What's it like? Worlds is in Vegas, right? So, like, I might get to go see Jim. How many of the main events I signed up for? Just one. I could only get one, but I'm happy that I get to play the one because I wasn't even sure I was signed up for it yesterday, actually. 68 is Esper midrange. Oh boy. I mean, worlds are always like somewhat like homogenized inbred formats. Hercule, Master Wizard. 3 mana, 2/4. At the beginning of your end step, if you've cast a non-creature spell this turn, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Alright, so it works with Bauble. For each card type among non-creature spells you cast this turn, you may put a card of that type revealed into your hand. The rest of the bottom. Interesting. This is ridiculous. I remember there was like 2 worlds in a row that were modern where like every single like at least 60% of the field was like Abzan midrange, which is kind of funny to think about now, but an incredible chunk of worlds at a couple of worlds events have been Abzan midrange, and it's just funny to think that if a single player just chooses to register Tron, they win worlds, and nobody did it. That was always something that shocked me so much, was that like not like no one registered Tron. The entire metagame was like Bant Eldrazi, Abzan midrange. That was almost the entire field. One player registers Tron, they win worlds, and none of them got there. It was so crazy. Okay. Like I don't know how none of them can predict the field. I don't know if they're like just like a team thing. But we 4-1 that league. Food seeming very sick. I think I'll see. I'll evaluate a little bit more. But ooh, and we opened an Old Border Ragavan. It's actually really exciting. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's time for Temple's Trickery. Which is kind of like a bad time because like viewers are a little lower because they're people watching the stream, but